This month and every month, Penguin Random House invites readers to uplift AAPI stories and hashtag read Asian authors, from books like Kathy Park Hong's vital new essay collection, Minor Feelings, to Kevin Kwan's irresistible beach read, Sex and Vanity. We're celebrating the stories that make us laugh, cry, and feel seen. Throughout the month of May, Penguin Random House is donating 15% of their site profits to Asian American Advancing Justice, up to $30,000. Find your next read at penguinrandomhouse.com or go to bit.ly/readasianauthors.
You think TikTok is all like PG-13 and shit? I made a couple fleshlight videos. You know how it is?
Yes,
Dude,
I do.
I get naughty ass DMs. A decent amount of people who are like, hey, can I get a video of you using it? And welcome back to another episode of Asian Not Asian Podcast, the podcast where two Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no American cares about. I'm your host, Fumi Abe.
And I'm Mike Nguyen.
And we are back in the studio, baby.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Whoa.
First time in person.
Yeah.
Shout out to Canal Street Radio and Listening Party for having us. Check them out on Instagram. I don't know what their handles are, but check them out, guys. They're on there. They're on there, guys. Dude, I was looking to prepare for this episode because I hadn't seen you in so long.
Yeah.
I rewatched an episode you and I did about a year ago.
Yeah.
My couch.
Yeah. Oh,
and we opened it with, "Hey, stay over there," and we're like 15 feet apart. It's amazing.
We are
It's
so
amazing.
close to each other
I
right
know.
now. Way too close. To be honest with you.
But I like it. Fans like I like it. Mike hates it.
I do.
Before we start the show, we're gonna do a Patreon shout out. So if you donate on our Patreon, we give you a shout out on the podcast. Try to get your ethnicity purely based on your last name. So
Yes.
Again, we're getting a lot, and so I'm sorry if you donated yesterday. You're not gonna necessarily hear back. The week after.
We're a little bit behind.
We're a little behind, but we'll get to you. So everybody, fucking chill, okay? Here we go. First new donor. I swear to God, all these people with weird ass last names are joining now because
No, weird ass first names.
Mikhail
Mikhail
Lim,
Russian Chinese.
Russian Chinese,
On
that western border.
Oh,
where
yeah.
all the trouble.
This guy's hot, probably.
You think it's a guy?
I think so.
Okay,
Nice.
Russian Chinese.
Hot
Elizabeth
Russian Chinese guy.
Chung.
Korean.
That's Korean as hell.
I'm going to say Korean.
This one's interesting. Jess Hiroko Yi. This is wait, but Hiroko's a middle name, so maybe her dad is Taiwanese and her mom is Japanese.
Oh.
But then she's American, so she's got 3.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes. Whoa.
God.
That's 3 people. Done.
Okay.
Direct
Jason Kyler Yano.
Kyler. Okay, so this guy is mixed race, I believe.
100%. Yano
And
is
then-
Japanese, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy-
Kyler.
Yeah. Jason Kyler Yano.
Yeah, that's half white. I think it's half white.
We got a lot of hot sounding people on here today.
Yeah, Jason Kyler. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
God, okay, these are pretty easy today. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Last week was crazy. Last week
Everybody had-
Kazakhstan went crazy. Kazakhstan went crazy last
slash
week.
Russia went crazy. Yeah.
Okay, Cecilia Wen. When?
When? That's
I think it's
Chinese. You know
That's
why?
Chinese. Why?
Cecilia. That's
Why?
just
Why?
any kind of like old school American name. If you got like an Asian woman named like Amelia or
You're right.
Abigail,
She's
that's a
Chinese.
Chinese ass name. Cecilia Wen, Chinese.
This last one, special shout out to you,
Oh, interesting.
Gina Kim.
Gina Kim. This person was at the at Hack City yesterday, and this person is in Korea, and so I
Yes.
had to watch Hack City at 9 a.m.
Whoa!
It was awesome because this person was drinking beer at 9 a.m. watching our stand-up. Just starting off her I think it was Saturday there. I have no idea where
good,
it is.
Good.
But I was
She's not,
like,
going
wow.
into Google.
It was awesome.
Guys, thank you so much for your donation. And if you want to get in this game, please go to patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. And we'll play this very racist game for the world because that's what we need right now. Guys, I know we usually do like a story of the week and all that shit, all that bullshit. But today we're not going to do that.
Yes.
Because today we got our favorite guests on the show.
We do.
We gave birth to them, you could say. And now they've taken over us.
Yeah, they really have.
They really have taken over us. But we love them.
We do.
And we can't wait to get into. It's going to be a juicy one, I think.
I think it's going to be really good.
Today's
And I can't think of a better way to bring us all back into contact with each other.
Yes.
We have seen each other briefly before during
at the
a
rally.
protest.
Yes,
as we do now, because 2020 was all about protests, and I guess 2021 and the future forever. But now we're all here hanging out. So
please help us welcome the hilarious podcast hosts of Feeling Asian, Brian Park and Youngmi. Woo!
Woo!
you guys were like at this whole time where we were doing our Patreon and then our introduction, we're just kind of like constantly just like looking at each other like I can't believe we came from these guys. We far surpassed them.
Birthed us from your loins.
What's going on? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, man.
I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting. This feels like epic, like an epic event that people will talk about 30 years from
think
now.
so?
You know, like the end of COVID,
Whoa.
Delegation, and
collaboration between
yeah,
Final collaboration
we knew
time?
it was over when all 4 of them were in the same room together.
Yeah, we are.
I
Without
haven't-
masks
Either
on.
that or just a YouTube video with 237 views.
We have been getting a lot of hate on YouTube recently. On YouTube, you get weird people.
Oh, yeah.
They're not fans.
I
They're
thought we
no,
did get a
it's
lot
like
of
99% we love the show.
Oh, I
and
see,
one
I see.
person, you know.
Hey, I was looking for this Joe Rogan clip, and instead I got served this
Yeah,
Chinese thing.
that or like it's like a Russian bot like swag sample.
Oh, yeah.
They keep emailing us. Like,
You guys should check out Swag Sample, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. Shouts to Mikhail, you know?
I mean, have you guys been doing like in-person sessions? Because this is very
No.
exciting. Like
No.
I can already feel this is already different from Zoom, man.
Very
Like,
different.
The
I mean,
energy.
Zoom podcasts have been cool, but like it's already like I don't know, the energy is already different.
We
you know what I mean?
haven't recorded together since I gave Brian COVID.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that'll do it. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
When was that?
February?
Early February.
Yeah.
I had my first day of symptoms on Valentine's Day.
Oh,
February 14th.
beautiful.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Brian.
Valentine's Day.
I
Wait, so
coughed
are
in your general
you-
direction.
So wait, could you not get the vax for a while because you had it?
Yeah, I get it in 2 weeks.
Because you have to like wait for something for
You
like
have to
some
wait.
That's right. That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my
I was
gosh,
in the
that makes
middle of
sense.
getting vaccinated when I got COVID, so I just got my second dose. They said it's fine.
You're just
Right,
this
right,
just
right,
do
right,
it.
right, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got the regular antibodies and also the other thing, vaccine thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The
Yeah.
You're
condoms.
very prepared for horny girl summer.
Yeah, it's already started.
Damn, hot
Did it
back
ever
summer.
stop for you? I
White
don't know.
boys,
I mean, it
huh?
feels like I feel like
I
There's
didn't
three
mean
summers.
that.
There's white boy summer, hot vax summer, and then some people are calling it fuck summer, and those people need to fucking chill.
Those people need to
No.
calm the
Fuck summer.
You know
I
what?
have not heard that.
Fuck summer?
Everybody keeps saying this, and I just feel like, you know, when you're really, really hungry and you
Yeah.
haven't eaten in a long time, and you're like, this buffet is going to be awesome,
Yeah.
and you just fill up right away on dumplings, and you're just like,
Yep.
fuck.
Your stomach's too
yeah.
small.
Oh.
Exactly. That first week,
Yep.
everybody's back. They're just going to like, you know, fuck whoever the first person is, get herpes, and just be like, oh.
For sure. There's so many people about to get herpes and they don't even know it.
Dude, apparently, I
Bro.
went to the doctor the other day. My doctor said there's like a new STD.
Oh,
That came, it just
I'm
dropped.
definitely gonna get that.
Wait.
That new one, bro.
Oh, shit.
What is
not,
it?
It's not a new one. It's just it's always been around, but it was very rare. And now there's
What is it?
It's called
Syphilis?
uteroplasma.
I'm definitely getting that.
And
Whatever that is.
apparently it's a bacteria that it's all in our bodies, and it's supposed to be here. But when it's in your like reproductive systems, or like
see.
when it's in your dick, it's bad or something like that.
Got it.
And it's hard to test for because we all would test
We
positive
always
for
test
because you
positive
have the
for it.
bacteria. But anyway,
Yeah,
she said it's
that
you
sounds
know,
like BV. Well, nobody knows this here because you're all straight men.
Yeah.
But
What's up,
like
what's up, what's
women,
up?
women get BV so much. Like
is
all of them
BV?
always have it. It's bacterial vaginosis. It's basically it's not really a STD because it's the
I see.
bacteria that's already in your vagina.
It just gets
But
kind of
then
out of hand.
if it's out of hand, if you have like sex, sometimes
No, I just like how it turned into an educational
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit, it got real quiet. And
Yeah,
everyone's
damn.
explaining
and then,
bacterial
but all
vaginosis.
women like
Right.
go through this like BV thing because then you take medication and then the yeast gets too crazy, so it keeps like getting out of balance and it takes like a long time to like flatten. Okay, you know
yeah.
this
No,
is
we,
a
no,
weird
no,
topic
thank
of
you for bringing that.
conversation.
We needed that.
Yeah.
We went one
Listeners.
whole year
Yeah.
without learning a single thing.
Okay,
And
good.
we ever learned something
Also,
now.
So,
could we expect
yeah.
anything less from a TikTok store?
Oh,
Then,
yes.
then a little educational video,
Let's
right?
the
Let's
first
get
thing,
into it. Let's
That's
get
the
into
first
it.
thing is
This
that
is something that I need to bring up with you, Youngmi, because
What?
I have been going on some dates with some Asian women.
Oh,
and
nice.
Nice.
Every single one of them.
giving them BV.
I'm out there giving BBs.
Causing their BV.
Fucking up their
Excuse me.
pH
Fucked it up.
pH levels with my dick. You know how it is. Every single one of them, they know who you are, and they won't stop talking about you.
Really?
And I'm
Yeah, dude.
They would
you're
bring
like-
it up on your date.
well, like if I told them I was doing comedy, if I had a podcast or something, they'd be like, "Oh, do you know Youngmi Mayer? I love Youngmi Mayer."
Really?
Yes, and it was
Wow.
just like there wasn't a date that went by without thinking about you. You were always on my mind, and I'm
But
just.
only Asian women or just like
There were a couple like white women who knew you.
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like they know you from different things.
That's a flex
so
right
like
there.
some people know. was weird.
My
That's
BV
what I'm saying.
educational videos really have
Yeah.
a lot of views on my BV videos.
The white women who knew you were like, they had like a little bit of an Asian thing. You know, not like in a bad way, but they were like interested in.
They
Yeah.
knew Brian.
Hey.
And then that's how they got to me through Brian.
Yeah.
I feel like there have been times where white women have approached me at comedy shows and like, oh, I love your podcast, and I'm like, why? And then
I
they're
talk
like,
shit about you
oh,
constantly.
because Brian, because through Brian.
Oh, I see.
That's
Boom, you're
my
fired.
theory, but
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, do people like come up to you? And,
Yeah, you're, like,
and all
famous
that
now,
stuff?
dude.
Yeah, people know who you are.
I mean, it's. That's
big on TikTok,
so,
too.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like I think TikTok has like a big reach, but I think that it was like shared on Reddit, which is I'm
Yeah.
assuming why people have seen it
Yeah.
so much. But it's weird because no one's really come up to me, but but people will be like, oh, I saw your TikTok,
Right.
but not strangers.
Well, like even we're doing the Asian Comedy Festival next
Yeah.
Sunday, and a lot of people have been like, because there's only limited seats.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my girlfriend, like they're all white guys with their Asian girlfriends. They're like, oh my girlfriend wanted to go because she wanted to see Youngmi.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Really?
Just like my white friends. Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
Yes, I have to say, everyone on dating apps, if they're Asian, will be like, I know who you are, but never a white person. I've never had like a non-Asian person,
Say
not
I know
even
who you are.
a white, like a non-Asian.
Well, the algorithm is
person.
doing its work.
That's kind of a cool demographic.
Asians
you
know.
You're like
Yeah.
big on Asian Tinder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's cool.
but which is interesting.
Well, has that like affected your dating pursuits and stuff like that? Because like
Kind of.
TikTok
I'm, like,
is
Really?
weird.
Kinda get weird
You
out-
think
weirded
TikTok is
out.
all like PG-13 and shit? I made a couple fleshlight videos. You know how it is?
Yes, I
Dude,
do.
I get
What?
naughty ass DMs from people who are like,
You mean
kick-
fleshlight videos? What do you mean?
I'm not
Dude, you didn't
using
you
it.
admit. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like making jokes about
It's fleshlight content.
Oh, on
It's
okay?
TikTok.
content.
Oh,
It's content.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm just like being stupid with a fleshlight in my
Yeah,
hand
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like squishy.
Yeah, yeah.
And people know what it is. But like I thought it was gonna be like, oh, this is funny or like gross. But like a decent amount of people who are like, hey, can I get a video of you using it? Like on
Whoa.
TikTok.
Only-
on TikTok.
Whoa.
OnlyFans. That's your OnlyFans.
Are they offering
It's
to
crazy.
pay you?
No, they're not. I should ask. I just give it to them.
Would you do it for? Would you do it for money?
100%.
Really?
If I don't have to show my face.
I just
Well,
sold some
I would
nudes. I've been
not,
selling
dude.
nudes.
Just your
Whoa.
dick? Who cares?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, let's stop for a second. Okay, hold on here. How much would you do it for? Let's think about this. Everybody who's listening on TikTok, take notes. How much would you do it for?
I don't know why $79.99 came to mind.
Well,
Like,
$79.99.
that's so
That's
Asian,
specific.
bro. Why
No,
the
you gotta
99
get at
cents
least.
at the
No,
end?
$79.
Oh, $79.99.
That's not a lot,
Yeah.
bro. Come on.
For just like it's not that
You
long.
saying
It's like-
$80? You
for-
do it for $80.
It's
You're not talking about $8,000.
I'm not gonna use this camera. I'm not using the expensive.
Okay,
I'm using my phone.
Nobody who's buying a dude fleshlight jerk in it is like, dude, this HK, this 4K is terrible. You
Well,
know,
I mean,
like,
I don't know. I mean, I like the only fans that I like are the people who know production. They use a little bit of But yeah, I don't
wow,
know.
that
if you
is
go-
a bargain. I might ask
Dude,
you for
but
one.
but OnlyFans, like a
I
lot of
will
girls
pay
sell that shit for.
$79.99. That's
for
not a
$80.
lot. That's not
Yeah.
a lot.
That's
I don't know
not a
what-
lot.
That's
You
not
don't-
a lot.
You can get a lot more.
That is a lot because OnlyFans subscriptions are like $5-10 a month.
I know, but that's because you get a lot of people. Like, so
Right.
you don't have to charge a lot, right?
But my theory is like
yeah.
the consumer who's willing to reach out to you to get this fleshlight video.
Yeah.
Their interest is so niche that they're willing to dish out money. It's
Yeah,
like
I agree.
It's like
I
sneakerheads.
agree.
They're like, ooh, yeah, like
people line up.
these
Yeah,
Jordan
yeah, you see the
185s for $1,800.
Yo,
That's
man,
good.
I got the new Fumi foreskins. Yo, man, these are tight as shit. Only $79.99.
Foreskins.
$80. $80. Are you serious? I spend more money on coffee a month than that.
He's
That
gonna
was a
show
good
his
price.
friend. They're like, where the fuck did you get this from Alibaba or something?
This looks like shit. Brian, you wouldn't
Wait.
do it for.
No, I
1,000
wouldn't.
bucks.
How much, Brian? How much for
1,000.
yours?
If my face wasn't in it, I probably would do it for $1,000.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Buy that.
I'm gonna
God.
No,
I'm gonna buy that.
We're not even. He's 2 digits off of me. That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna buy that for someone's birthday. I feel like somebody, like, I don't know.
You should
I'm
auction
gonna
it off
buy
your face.
Brian's jerking it to my.
But-
So I
I'll
sold
buy mine
nudes.
and give it
I
to
sold.
Fumi.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Fumi. I won't look at it. I promise.
I won't look at it.
I've been selling nudes because people. I only do
Wait,
it
on
if people
OnlyFans?
reach out. No, just like on Instagram, and I'll like text them if
Okay.
they reach out to me. I'll
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
totally sell them nudes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
Word?
and then I sold that. Remember that guy? I told us on the podcast. This
yeah.
guy wanted me to like eat his jizz or something, and I was like,
He's gonna FedEx.
No, he wanted to drink my pee.
Oh, okay.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna go to the post office.
Okay, come on, buddy. hey, let's keep it PG-13.
And so he's like, can you watch me drink my own pee and eat my jizz? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, give me like, I don't know, $300 or something. And
Did
he
you-
did.
You ate his jizz for
Hold on,
$320.
did
No, he ate his own
Did
jizz.
you do that? Did he just send you a video or did he?
Yeah,
You know
but
what
then
I'm
he
saying?
like cut it off after 1 minute after not doing any of those things, and then he ghosted
All
me.
talk.
And
But
he ghosted you.
he paid me. So.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Then I was like, hey, how are you?
What? Okay.
What are you
Well, no.
doing?
So the main thing is like,
Yeah.
money aside, are you not concerned about like, because I feel digital things can't be destroyed. Do you know
Oh, I
what I'm
don't
saying?
care.
You don't care.
I don't know.
Okay.
I
Is your
personally
face
don't
in it?
care. Yeah, some of them. Like
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
care about nudes.
I
I don't know
don't
why.
think-
Okay, that's totally fair.
I do think like nudes
I
is going
care?
through something
No,
where
I
like
don't.
people don't care if it leaks anymore. Like just more of a sex positive thing.
Yeah, like
happening.
Yeah.
I'm very sex. Like I'm like
Yeah.
I can't think of any scenario where I would be upset that somebody saw my nudes. Like
Right.
obviously I don't want my son to see it, but I don't. If he does, it's like okay. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, I'm a
Yeah,
human.
I
being.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
have.
I'm not offended by naked bodies. Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot of shame, so I understand that.
Right,
So okay, respect.
Yeah.
You know, shouts to Ghost Jizz.
Ghost jizz.
Shout out
Ghost
to
jizz
call
killer.
me.
Shout out to Ghost Jizz Killer. Yo, he's got the new food for
Ghost jizz
So
killer.
sick. Wu-Tang.
Okay, I wanted to ask you guys this because we haven't hung out in a while, and here's the thing: you guys both kind of quit stand up, and that's how we all met, right?
And this
Yeah.
is not an attack. I have thought about stand. We just did a bonus
All of us,
episode to
all
think
of us.
about stopping doing stand up. And Asian Comedy Festival is this weekend.
Oh, man.
So shouts to the festival. And it's a weird time for stand up for sure. We'll talk about that in a second. But you guys kind of, I mean, I know Brian, you kind of like have chilled on stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, how come?
I don't really do it that much anymore.
When was the last show you did? You think?
Oh, the last show I did was
Zoom counts too. Zoom counts.
Yeah.
I didn't do any Zoom shows. The last show I did was at the UCB theater 1 week before the pandemic,
Okay. Okay.
and there was a comedian on the show who was sick.
Oh, wait, you told me this.
No.
Yeah.
Sally Ann.
No, it wasn't Sally Ann. It wasn't Sally Ann.
wasn't Sally
Yeah,
Ann.
it was
Okay.
Keenan.
Oh,
And-
yes.
And we were in the green room. We're like, "Yo, are you like?"
Was
But
he
this was
vi-
like early
visibly
pandemic.
sick?
Yeah, he was
Oh.
sniffling early pandemic. We're like, "Yo, dude, like
Oh,
you got
joking
the
around.
COVID?"
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
"Nah." We're all laughing like, "Haha, he doesn't have the COVID." And then 2 weeks later, he posted this Facebook post, and he was like, "I got COVID-19." Blah blah. I'm just
Oh,
like,
God.
"Are you fucking serious?"
God damn.
Damn.
What this is terrible.
But you didn't stop because of COVID.
No, absolutely not. I stopped because I was actually feeling a little bit annoyed with stand-up, the medium itself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what inspired me to start the podcast with Youngmi. And I've just found that since doing the podcast, I don't really have that strong of a desire to do stand-up anymore because the podcast sort of
Yeah.
satiates all of the things that
creative
stand-up
need.
did
Yeah. Right,
and more.
Right. Plus, you
And-
don't have to risk COVID. Well, actually, you did risk COVID, but like, yeah, okay, I
Right.
get it.
And like...
You did get
You
COVID
did
from
get
doing
COVID,
the
ironically.
podcast.
But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so I don't see any benefit that stand-up like gives me.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
ROI is like shit compared to
Yeah, it
having
really
a
is.
podcast.
Absolutely.
100%.
And more often than not, when I'm doing stand-up, like you just have to deal with so much other bullshit that you don't have to with a podcast, where you see these people in the audience laughing at these like racist jokes, and I'm like, I don't want to make you fucking laugh.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
never get a drink with you outside of the context of this fucking room. So why
Right.
do I have
Yeah,
to pretend
yep,
and
yep.
dance like a monkey
Right.
and be like, I get your validation. I don't need your
Yeah,
validation.
yeah.
I got my own shit going on.
Yeah.
The hating of the audience is really real for me. I'm like, I
Yeah?
fucking don't respect you.
Oh,
Why the
shit.
fuck am I here?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Which is very mean sounding, but like I said, like Brian said,
I don't
they're
think it's mean.
racist.
Absolutely.
They're
I mean, I
racist
think-
shitbags from Staten Island. Why the fuck
Right.
would I want you
But
to
like,
laugh at anything
true.
that I said?
How many times have you been taught to make everyone laugh, right? That was
Yeah,
what
yeah.
everybody told us. Make
Right.
everyone laugh. And as you get older and you get into comedy, you're like, no, I'm
Right.
not going to make everyone laugh. Like,
Right.
that
Yeah.
would be, that's A, that's not possible. And B, you look at, like, I remember we were coming up, like, a part on Charlotte was like really hot, right? She was doing all these things.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
she would be very selective with her shows because,
Yeah.
again,
She
like
was very
she likes
selective.
stand up, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but like she's not at the cellar. She doesn't give a fuck. She's on BoJack Horseman. Like she's
Right.
she's on Master of None. Like she's got her own thing. She's gonna do it to NPR white people at the fucking Littlefield.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that's all she's gonna do, and that's great. That meets her needs. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an artistic thing for me. Like it doesn't I don't know, since like the podcast I get to be funny on the podcast, and now I just feel like I've changed as a person, where I don't like the jokes that I used to tell anymore. And I'm fundamentally like, why I'm using this like comedy and these jokes as this like deflection mechanism. I don't need to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like I could just spit whatever I want to say on my podcast.
Like a rapper.
Yeah. And now like I'm going to say I have a little itch to like return because I'm just curious.
Sure.
I'm like, we'll see. Maybe I'll like do a show and see how it feels. Try it on for size.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not like.
I mean, to your point about the audience and hating the audience, because now you might have an audience that's going to be different.
Right.
It's like, we're fortunate enough to have some people come out to Hack City, and we're going to have Hack City back.
Yeah.
And that crowd is our crowd.
It's a great crowd.
Yeah.
And you no one can say that they don't love comedy. They love comedy, and we do put all kinds of different comics in front of them, but they really like, smart race stuff that, Fumi and I sometimes do. Not smart, but like, race stuff that we do.
Right.
So that's like I feel that's, and you talk to a lot of them, they've never been to stand-up shows.
Yeah.
Because before you would go to a stand-up show and be full of like Staten Island bros or whatever.
Yeah.
And so now there's like more people coming out. So, maybe there might be an opportunity now for that.
Yeah.
I just have a slight disdain for the entire art form of stand-up comedy.
Me too.
Because it goes
Okay.
it goes against. I originally wanted to go into comedy with like good intentions. Like I wanted to use stand-up as a platform to like subvert expectations or stereotypes about the Asian American experience. And now I feel like I view stand-up in a way where it's almost harmful at times, and all it does is serve to reinforce generalizations and people's preconceptions.
Yeah.
If you look at the most famous comedians, like mainstream ones,
Oh, yeah.
they all are just reinforcing people's psychological preconceptions of that archetype of person.
Yeah.
Or if you look at like Sebastian Maniscalco or like Bill Burr, for instance, Bill Burr gets away with a ton of shit and offensive shit because he is what our idea of a Southie Boston guy
Boston
is.
guy. That's his
If
whole
an
thing.
Asian person said that shit, that racist shit or that borderline problematic shit that Bill Burr does, it would not fly.
wouldn't work.
And that's why like I think it's hard for any mainstream, like any Asian American comics to reach mainstream success via stand-up because people don't have that preconception or that idea.
Of what you're
Ronnie
supposed-
Chang's a little different because he's international.
Right.
And like
He
he's
comes
coming at
in and he
he's
says,
coming
like,
at
I'm
it
an
like
Asian
I'm shitting
guy
on
from
America.
outside. Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
from
yeah,
America.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's
And
his whole thing.
so I'm like, what the fuck? Like this almost is antithetical to the whole thing that I wanted to do in the
Right.
first place.
It is tricky.
And it's just
Yeah.
the podcast is a more effective way of doing that.
Youngmi, what about you? Because I know you are still doing stand up.
I am. I'm so bad at it. Oh my god.
We all are.
So I'm kind of like I'm the same wave with Brian, where I'm like fuck stand up, and then also I suck at it. So now I feel like I suck at it. So I'm pretending that I'm better than this. No one's ever laughed at anything I've done. So I've done 2 shows recently. And they were so bad because I wasn't rehearsing because I didn't give a shit about it. And I sort of like, I have this like shared resentment, like, oh, you want me to fucking come dance? Like,
Yeah,
you're a little
yeah,
stupid
yeah.
monkey. And it's like, it's also the art, I think what you were saying, Brian, like the art of like stand up is very like reductive. Like the whole thing, like late night writing is like everyone gets a premise and we all boil it down to this one stupid idea that everyone has the same exact joke. You know,
Right.
like how many comedians do we follow on Twitter like if something topical happens, they all say the same exact joke because they've been trained to do that, boil down
It's a
something
very
to that like
everybody has a certain
formula.
point of view.
And it's
Right.
like how many times something happens and they're like, I can't believe masks got banned before guns, and I'm like, shut up. How did you all come up with the same fucking idiotic, and you all write for like late night and like
Right.
ugh,
That is me.
like that.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
No, I'm sorry. Is that a joke that you actually tweeted?
Thank you so much.
No, but like you're still like fresh, and your performance is like
I mean, no, but
there's a quality of
Fumi
performance
does,
there.
sort of say, you do when you write, you do
Yeah.
have to
Boil it down.
get
It's
to
a
a certain
gift. It's a
point.
skill.
Right.
And
It's
I
a
don't have that skill,
skill,
to be honest.
yeah.
I'm like hating from outside the club.
No, but
I'm like,
Yeah.
stop making that joke that I could have never ever thought of.
that's a funny.
You're such a smart writer.
That's a
Fuck
funny
you.
image, but also now I feel like there's an audience outside the club. There's like
what
an
I
outdoor
mean.
DJ now. You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can kind of do your own thing out there. You know,
I'm just doing my little dance outside. While everyone can't get in, and we're starting our own club. losers
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
No, I want to say I'm talking so much shit about stand up, but I am very bad at it.
Yeah.
So if you're good at it,
Wait,
no.
what do you
don't
think
be
about
sad.
that? You're on the verge of quitting.
I do. but to your point, it's. I feel like I reached a vein of content that I'm like, oh, this could be really cool. Where I talk about what it's like to be. I have this whole thing about, Vietnam beat America in the Vietnam War. So how come America isn't part of Vietnam, right? Which
Oh,
is
that's
like
funny.
it's like a twist on the whole thing, because everything has been taught, it's been seen from a certain point of view, and what if you could see it from a whole other point of view? And I've been reading all these things, and there's like, it's a rich vein of material that has
Right.
never been touched and
Yeah.
can't be touched
Right.
by even people who are in Vietnam, because that art form really isn't developed like that.
Right.
There. So it could be done, but of course the problem is I obviously need to get better at it, and I need to have the material.
Yeah.
But then the audience needs to be receptive to it.
Right.
But I do think that
Yeah.
there's younger folks.
Yeah.
And if I go in there and I talk about some really specific, Vietnamese thing, I feel that if I was put in front of a room of like, my peers or whatever, like Garden Grove Vietnamese millennials, I could almost not have material, and because I know, you know what I'm saying. I feel sometimes that white comics can do that. They can
Yeah.
go in there, and like Bill Burr can go in, and you've seen him do this. He goes in there and he doesn't know shit about anything except just a little bit about the town.
Yeah.
But he can connect with that audience because that is his audience.
Yeah.
And so
That's a
when
good point.
Exactly. So if I were to be put into the audience that was ready for me,
Yeah.
then like they meet me halfway, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, well now we can. And has anyone ever talked about this thing?
Yeah.
Never, and
Right.
you'll never hear about it on all these other channels or whatever the
Never.
fuck it is.
Right.
So, I think you could do it. And it's a little bit more like, I'm gonna get real philosophical. Okay, with
Sure.
stand up, right? You're getting ready so that when the time is right, when your audience is ready, you're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been preparing, and I've been doing shit at the fucking pair.
Yeah.
So that when I have open field and I'm allowed to shine. Oh, I hate saying that, but like when I can do my thing, I'm ready.
Gross.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I had to, because I did the fucking pair at like midnight
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready.
I mean, I think it's just another thing. Like, I mean, it's funny you bring up Ronnie Chang because he's not Asian American, but that's potentially what you could have because
Yeah.
he just has his fans. And so I think you're right. Like, I just do stand up so that one day I can really just talk about Final Fantasy. Like, I have all these jokes about like
Yeah,
drunk texting.
Yeah.
Like, I do white things. But really, when you come to my show, it's like disc 3 Final Fantasy 9. What's good?
Yes.
I could not beat that.
Nice.
I think we can do a little bit of that with our audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess
Also, yeah.
but I see, like, I don't know. I'm very influenced by people, so I got
Yeah,
a little down
yeah.
on it for a second. But I guess I'm just trying to stay optimistic.
The thing about the TikTok thing too is that somebody recently was talking to me who was not in comedy, and he was like, well, stand-up is really bad now because everyone that would have gone into stand-up a generation ago would never waste their time on it now. They're all just doing TikTok,
Yeah.
YouTube, and doing stuff on social media, curating meme pages. Like,
Yeah.
how many like queer teens of color do you know that are curating these like mega follower meme pages?
Yeah.
And things like that, using their humor in that way. It's like the art of stand-up is being sucked dry so much of new talent. So not to make us sound old or whatever.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So we've all like, even the TikTok thing for me, I'm like, bro, I'm getting jobs and money
Right, from
from
that.
my fucking from sitting in my living room for
Yeah.
18 minutes and posting something.
Yeah.
Why the hell am I gonna go out and like schlep all the way to Brooklyn and then go to the Pear and then go to the fucking blah and then
Yeah.
maybe they're gonna squeeze me in a late night in New York Comedy Club or something. Like, why would I
Right.
do that for years for
Right.
for what? And I think a lot of people feel the same way.
That's exactly how I feel. I mean, I liken stand-up to, it's like snail mail. You
Right.
write a letter, you go to the post office, as you
Yeah.
send it off. It has its value. People enjoy it. But now with like TikTok, Instagram meme pages, podcasts, like that's like the future. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that's like sending a WeTransfer file at that point, you
Right.
know? And I'm like, I don't know if I enjoy writing letters by hand, like via like a pen that you
Right,
dip
with a
into
quill.
ink.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
To justify the amount of like effort that I put into it.
Yes.
And so I'm just approaching it as like a business person. Like, what is going to give me the biggest return on investment here? If you like it, like no one can take that away from you.
Right.
I think
also,
it's just I'm being honest with myself.
I think for me, because I'm an insane person, and we'll get to this later, but I want to do it all.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
like just doing TikTok is not
agree.
enough for me.
Yeah.
Just the podcast it's not enough for me. I need live. I need this. I want to write, and like that's the only way I can really achieve happiness. And so it's really a sickness, I think. You know?
Yeah, I would agree. I always think of stand up as like, you know, that is the the mixed martial arts, the toughest form of comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even know if that's true or not. In my mind, it is.
I think it's
I
very
think
like
it's true. I think
I,
it's
mixed
definitely
martial
true.
in the way
it's very
it's
hard.
very like raw.
It's
Like,
very
you can, I
raw.
can fucking
It's very
elbow your
tough.
face. There's
Everything's
no
crazy.
rules. Yeah.
And I would say for sure, if there was if I had never done stand up, I would not be here. I would not be TikTok. I wouldn't have
Me
written all
neither.
these things.
Right,
So
exactly.
it got me into the thing. You know, it's just like the, you know, you're punching a rock 100
Yeah,
times
yeah.
and you have like really tough calluses, and I wouldn't be able to do a funny TikTok. Not that I do that often, but I wouldn't be able to do it at all
Right.
without stand up, and I wouldn't
I
be
agree.
It, like,
as
taught
good
you. Yeah.
here
100% agree.
without stand up.
I mean, that's why I have no regrets about
Yeah.
doing all that
Yeah.
stand-up
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it translates well into the podcast format
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
know how to speak in a certain way to be engaging. But I will say that another aspect of stand-up is when you don't do it for a while, you notice how toxic the community is.
Yes.
And-
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes,
And
yes,
now-
yes, yes.
I've like,
And now
yeah.
that I don't do it anymore, I don't use Instagram that much.
Yeah.
And when I go on Instagram now, I'm like, there's just so much fucking rampant narcissistic personality
It's
disorder
crazy.
that is unchecked.
going
Where
on?
if you're in the thick of it, everyone else is doing it, so you start drinking from the Kool-Aid. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna post a fucking hot selfie of myself and shoehorn some half-ass, not even funny caption because that's what people want, right? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you need help. Like no one's asking for this. No one is asking for this. You think this is what's really gonna get the
Better
industry to
read.
notice you?
Yeah.
I feel like all of us keep saying stuff like fuck it when they do this, and then one of us gets really quiet because we all do stuff like that.
We could play a game called like comedian or Instagram model, and you wouldn't even know because
Right.
that's
They're
just
so
like
funny.
that's part of
I
comedy.
love how
yeah.
every comedian almost, and I've done it myself, where it's almost like from years 2 to 4 in their like career stand-up journey, they assume this persona of like, I'm hot.
Yes,
I'm a
yes,
hot
yes,
person
that, like,
persona.
that hot? Yeah.
Every
It's so
stand-up
weird.
comic does it.
I'm a hot stand-up person. Yeah.
And they're always not that hot. So I'm always like, no. And then I'm like, remember we were talking about that. I was like, Fumi, that's part of the joke because she's not hot. And you were like, no, I don't think that's what she means.
yes, we cannot say her name, but
I
yes,
think
yes.
she really thinks she's hot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
I thought the joke was that she's mediocre. I'm such a bitch.
I'm also glad you're here because, you know, we're I can't believe I have to say this. We're two of the most popular Asian comedy podcasts, right? It feels weird to say. I swear to God, I sometimes actually think no one listens to us, and that our numbers that we get from our a platform is just made up. The
It's
platform
from
is
the
just-
government to keep
Yeah,
us calm.
the platform is just
government,
making
yeah.
it look like we have people, you know, and we actually are only reaching like 10 people.
I was
or
thinking
something
like a
that.
click farm in the Philippines or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. So funny. Ha, 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 Miguel. You know, like these are the people. But, you know, the other day I was at a show and the host was like, "Hey man, you know, I hear you're doing great. You know, you and Fumi are great on the podcast. I'm so happy for you guys. Also though, hey man, feeling Asian. You know, they're really killing it right now too. So
Damn.
do you guys kind of have a thing going on?" And I was like, "What? I didn't know, you know, like, and I was
Like, are we dating?
yeah. Well, he was like, "Are you guys like fighting?" Or he's like, he said, "Are you guys fighting for like supremacy, right? Of like for Asian comedy for
Wow.
supremacy?
Wow.
You know the thing? Like we're like two yakuza versus other yakuza. It's like,
And meanwhile, Bobby Lee's in LA, like, who the fuck is
Yeah,
feeling
yeah, yeah,
Asian
yeah,
and
yeah,
Asian
he's a real
audience?
kingpin.
exactly. So I don't know if has anyone come to you and said that, because I do think
we have- yeah.
it does come up, you know, for us.
Somebody asked me at Comedy Central too.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
really?
like, "Do you guys have beef?"
Somebody did bring me up once as the host of Asian Audition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who?
I'm not going to tell you, but she
You have to.
apologized, and she was not white. So,
Oh.
so I was like, so I'm not going to throw her under the bus. No, I think she just, I think she just like messed up the name
Oh,
while
the name,
introducing. Because you know when
good.
you're on stage
Youngmi
and
and
you're
Fumi?
hosting. You know when you're
that would
hosting
be-
your
that's-
your brain gets
maybe that's a reach,
she
though.
apologized and I was
That's-
like, I was like, well, that's also a great podcast. This is what I'm gonna say before Brian says anything.
Yeah.
I will never even if I did hate you or was competitive with you, which I'm not. You both are my very close friends, and I respect you and I love your podcast. And I feel like we're different enough that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't feel competitive, but even if I did, I would never fucking tell a white person. I would never let them know that there's, it's like, no, we're great. We're best friends.
Yes. No, Jessica
great.
Gao always says the same thing.
I would never, because they smell it and they like,
They're gonna
they
like
want
come
you
in,
to,
with it. Yep.
And
They're
then they're
all
gonna go
about
back to
to-
their
Yeah.
colony masters and be like, yes, we can split up the natives.
the North and South have been separated.
They will have antibiotics, but we will not share. We will split
It's
them
like
up.
that shit when like white media is always like harping on black people being like
On
hateful
beef on each
towards
other.
Asians,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's true, but I don't like how you guys like this so much.
Yeah,
you really
yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
huh?
This is our shit.
You like this, huh?
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, I'm just beating you up in
Yeah,
the back.
exactly.
Fuck you, Mike.
I love them so much, and then you come and stab me and shiv me.
Yeah, no, but yeah, obviously my answer is I don't feel that kind of way. Obviously,
Yeah. No, I mean, yes.
we're friends.
Yeah,
How about
I
you,
think so.
Brian?
Yeah, I don't feel that, but I will say that there are times where, let's say, a fan will be like, "Oh my god, I love your podcast," and then they'll just like out of nowhere just bring up like, "Yeah, like I like your guys' podcast way more than Asian Not Asian." I'm like, whoa, and I'm like, yo, why are you turning this into like a competition? It's that thing though, you
It
know?
is. It's like it's that white supremacy mindset.
Right, but honestly,
Room.
it wasn't until people would like voice their support or like express how they like the podcast where I think that our audience demographics are kind of like yes, there's a lot of overlap, but there's a lot of differences.
I don't think there's a lot of overlap.
There's
I don't
some,
think
but
so.
it's
There's
not
some,
a-
because
but it's
I
not a lot.
But it's not like one to. It's not like oh, if you listen to us, you 100% listen to
Right,
Feeling
right,
Asian,
right.
and then
Right.
vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
Because I always, if it's appropriate, I'll definitely give a shout out to you guys, and I'll be like, yeah, like we met on Asian Not Asian podcast. You should definitely check it out. And they're like, oh, I haven't heard of that. I'm like, what? Like this is. I guess there isn't as much overlap as I thought.
I've also met people who are like, you dress like you'd be into Feeling Asian, and then they're like, oh, I've never heard of it. Like it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do
They're
think
so different.
I do think our demos are different because a girl said, Mike, I'm gonna get him. A girl did say to me once, I like your podcast more than Feeling Asian. Hey.
Yeah.
But then I was like, why? I was just curious. I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
weird
like,
that you brought it up.
I like that. I like that.
I got you, boss.
Where we're like breakdance fighting right now. And then Brian does like head spin, and then Fumi's like, "Don't worry, I got this." Just
Yeah.
like check me out.
Did like a
But I
headstand.
asked him why. I was legit curious because I listened to your podcast. I think it's great, and I feel like if you like our podcast, you'd enjoy both. But
It's okay to. It's
But
okay
they're
not to
very-
like one
but
more
they
than
are
another,
different.
I was
They're
curious,
different.
like
Yeah.
just from a market research standpoint. I'm like,
For
I
sure.
wonder what the
Yeah,
divide
I want to
is.
hear. I want to hear, but I do have my own opinion about
and
what's
and
going on here.
it was just one person, but she said that it was too emotional for her. For her,
Yeah.
it was
that
too
makes
emotional
sense.
for her.
It is very emotional.
And some people don't want to, and like I enjoy it because I'm a comedian. I like going there.
Right.
I like crying and shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But I could see it was like, oh, like, hey, Asians not a monolith. Some Asians don't cry.
I know. I'm such a market research nerd like you in that aspect where sometimes people be like, I can't listen to all the episodes. Like I pick and choose, and I'm like, no, that's not good. That's not good for the download numbers. You gotta like do every episode.
Yeah. I feel that
that makes sense. Yeah.
that it ultimately has to really come down to do they like the energy that you're putting out, you know what I'm saying? And I sometimes wish that, because what I think you guys do better than us is that you guys are you guys kind of like feature yourselves more. Do you know what I'm saying? You're like, this is all about us and our journey, and of course you have guests and stuff like that, but it's like, this is like a sort of your process. You're going through your process and you're putting it out there. For us, like, I think a lot of our fans really like our thing that we've got going on, me and Fumi. But then, like, we have a lot of guests and stuff like that, and sometimes like the guests kind of like bring their shit, and we kind of get lost in the shuffle.
It's
of it.
hard to like. This is like a very balanced conversation, but when we
Yes.
have a guest we don't know, it's hard to like. Sometimes they take over, and we don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
to do because we don't know them that well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess, tell your story about your dad died. I don't know. Go ahead. Like, it's
yeah,
just
Yeah,
not there.
it
yeah,
becomes like
yeah,
an interview
yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
which is fine. But then
Yeah.
like the thing with interviews is that you'll come like the only Mark Maron I've ever listened to was the one with Obama on it,
yeah.
right?
Right.
I didn't come back to any of the other ones, so that's kind of like the game you play. You may get a bigger number because you had some like awesome guest, but then you didn't get to feature your personality, and then people don't they don't get to sample the Mike and Fumi flavor. You know what I'm saying?
I think that just you saying that makes me feel like ashamed. Like, what am I doing? Why am I talking so much? No, just being Asian. No, not that you said it in a bad way. It's just me, my own shit. But I think that Brian and I talk about this. Like, this is a big Asian thing because Asian people are taught to not have an ego, tamper down their ego, don't make room for yourself, and then they act weird, and then they're like, like that saying that I love, like, if you hold it down, it goes sideways. Then they become like weird, like your ego.
Whoa!
Because everyone has a
weed.
natural ego. Like if you hold a weed down, it'll just grow sideways.
Is that a Korean thing, or did you
No, it's in America. I think I heard it in America. It's like
word?
if you block a weed, like a weed's growing, instead of growing up, it'll just grow sideways.
Okay,
It's not gonna stop growing.
Yeah.
And so if you push down your ego, you're gonna become a fucking weirdo and be like, go online and tell women like, why are you wearing a bikini, and just like acting. You think you're better than everyone because you're not giving room for your own ego.
Your own ego.
And I feel like that's a big problem in Asian communities because
true.
you're taught not to have an ego, but the ego is natural. It's like your liver. Like you can't make it go away. So like you shouldn't like indulge in it like a fucking narcissist.
Yeah.
And I don't think we do that. But you should but there's nothing wrong with making room for yourself. And like and I'm just going to talk about myself. And if you don't want to listen, that's totally understandable. If you want to talk about yourself, you should do that.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with me talking about myself.
Yes.
And we should like work on getting rid of the shame of that. And I think like doing is like the way to show other Asians that it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I am like, whatever. Like I'm like an Asian woman and I don't give a shit. I'm going to talk.
Right.
Like I'm not going to feel ashamed about it, even though I do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I feel like
yeah.
that's the message. And Brian and I talk about how it fucks us up a lot because we feel ashamed a lot. But I think that's like important for Asians to see that,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
right?
Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth.
We're
I feel like when you and I just do like a solo episode,
Yeah.
a lot of it comes out, and
Yeah.
I think 80% of our fans like that.
Yeah,
but there's a
I think they
20%
do.
who don't listen when it's just us.
Right.
Or like I don't know if you, like our downloads are just lower when we
Really?
don't have a guest.
A
I
little
think
bit lower.
fans,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
feel like we noticed that ours are like the same or higher. There was one where it was like slightly
Yeah,
more,
I think we're
right?
not, they like the solo episodes, but I'm weird and like, why the fuck would anyone want to listen to what we have
I
to
think
say?
we were just
Brian gets
I
worried.
literally
Brian
was
does
thinking
get
about that.
worried.
Why
Yeah.
why would anyone want to listen to my shit? And I think that's kind of like the whole thing with what you said.
Yeah, like making yourself small, and that's
Right.
not healthy.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
Yeah.
be like you shouldn't be obviously like a raging narcissist, but like we're not that. We're working so hard against being taught as children that we don't matter.
Yeah.
That like even if we like overcompensate for that, which we're not,
Right.
there's no way I'm gonna end up on the other end. I'm not gonna become Donald Trump because I have
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just like
It's- you're not gonna.
a
Yeah.
kind of mental illness that I just don't have.
See, man, you're
Right.
you're teaching us about so much, man. BV,
BV.
believing yourself,
Believe in yourself.
You know,
BVing
Yeah.
yourself.
Being yourself.
I BV'd myself somehow. I masturbated too much.
We're rounding out AAPI Heritage Month, and throughout the month, I've been loving the curation of content shared by HBO Max, highlighting AAPI creators and artists in our community. It's all in one place on the streaming platform. I may be easy to please, but the titles on HBO Max are the absolute best mix of everything I need to entertain myself on a potentially boring Friday night. Rom-coms, thrillers, documentaries, and I'm not gonna share how many times I've watched Aquaman this month. I mean, no one gets tired of Jason Momoa. How can you? Okay, but really, to enjoy this and all the amazing titles streamed on HBO Max like Game of Thrones, more Jason Momoa, use our link hbom.ax/ANA2. That's hbom.ax/ANA2 to sign up today.
Listen, Mike, you know me on the podcast, I like to laugh like an insane person, spread joy through jokes and
Yes.
inappropriate comments, but is that how I feel on the inside in 2020? Absolutely not, Mike.
No, man.
It's a dark mess in here, dude. Sometimes I'm really sad, sometimes I'm a little depressed, I'm really stressed, and I think a lot of people with the pandemic, they're not really sure about job security, and that's a huge source of stress for a lot of people. And I think if any of our listeners feel this way, they should check out our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
Connect in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient.
you can start communicating in under 24 hours.
This isn't self-help, it's professional counseling.
Send a message to your counselor anytime.
You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions.
Woo! All without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. You know how those waiting rooms can be, bro.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need it.
And it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available.
Licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem.
I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Asian. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Asian.
And we are back with everyone's favorite segment. It is Das Race News. We finally able to do it in time.
I was going to say the same thing. Let's make out. Okay.
Okay, this is the thing everybody's been talking about. It was all over Twitter and stuff like that. God, I don't even know how to describe all this succinctly.
Okay, so this went viral on Twitter. There is a comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh, yeah.
Who was doing the show with this other Asian comedian. His name is Pang Dang, and
they were doing this in Austin.
Yeah, just Google it. You'll see the video. But basically, Pang Dang introduces Tony Hinchcliffe. He comes on, and he just does he says chink right off the bat.
Right.
Just opens with that, and then
Asian accent, all sorts of stuff.
I think he was referring to something that had happened before.
Right.
But doesn't necessarily matter. I don't know from the way I look at it. But anyways, he's now he's canceled and blah, 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 and people are upset. But I found this other video of, there's two things. One, there's an interview of Pang Dang. He's being interviewed by the local news, and he talks about it. And I think for him, they're friends. So he's open for him multiple times.
Oh, wow.
So they know each other.
Okay.
So they're cool. So for him, it was just the C word for me. And then there was another video that Ari Shafir had released on YouTube. It was titled something so fucking stupid. I love when angry white guys post on social media. It's so fucking funny. They're so fragile. Okay. What the media doesn't show you. Tony Hinchcliffe's full set. So this guy, Ari Shafir, posted a 20-minute video of the actual show. And so we can get a context of okay, because when I first read this, I was like, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe Pang Dang was doing some dat fan shit. Maybe it was really racist or whatever it is, and maybe he was just making fun of that. I don't know. Watched it, very funny comedian, really, really, really smart jokes. And then he comes on and he does Tony comes on, does a thing that everybody knows. And then the rest of the 15 minutes after that, he's continuing to be offensive to Asian people. So if anything, this video makes him look more racist, I think. So I don't know why this was released.
I mean, when I saw this, I told Fumi I almost didn't want to talk about it because it's just I don't like that right now where Asian people are just in the media for being hate crimed. We're just constantly being hate crimed. And really this whole thing still centers around this Tony person, and what's happening to him, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And also, he got canceled, but I'm sure he made a million more fans, which is...
that's the thing with white comics.
That's the thing. Fine.
Getting canceled is the best thing that can happen to them.
And that's the thing is you know what? Fine. I feel that we were just talking about stand-up, and the reason why I like to do stand-up is so that I can say I've done stuff like this too. Okay, Tony. All right, you don't have some special thing. Ari also, you're not special because you do stand-up and I don't. I do stand-up too, and I've also eaten shit a lot, and I know what it's like, and I know when I watch this thing with what happened with Pang. That's happened to me plenty of times. How many times has that happened to us?
For sure.
I've never gotten straight up chink, but
I've never had that, and that is.
You were at Aaron Berg at that show.
Oh my god! Wait, were you on stage or no?
I was sitting on the side.
Me and you were sitting.
And he was like, "Crouching tiger, hidden dick."
That's right. Yes. Oh my god! But that's the thing. This guy, Tony Hinchcliffe, he's in that circle. He's in the circle with Shane Gillis and Aaron Berg and all those guys. So this is what he's known for, or whatever.
So okay, listen. I mean, here's the thing: is that I know at comedy shows there's a lot of context, or whatever, and so maybe if it was a playful thing back and forth, where it was Pang does something, and then like Tony goes up and
like
does
a roast or something.
like a roast
Yeah.
or something like that, which
Where it's all about doing that, which is
for okay,
bad,
I could see what you're doing. That's why I don't want to like get into it. And I'm a comedian, so I want to respect other comedians and their process or whatever the fuck it is. Now, I will say, stop saying the CH word. I don't like that word, and that is a fighting word for me. If you call me that, that's not a funny joke. Even if I have to punch you in the face.
Yeah. Yes.
It is not a cool word to say. Never
also,
say that word.
Those fucking cowards would never say the fucking N word.
No, don't do it.
No, never.
And
Never.
and
they would never. Because you know what? Because they're fucking cowards.
Yeah.
Tony, why don't you fucking say the N word then?
Yeah.
Say it on camera.
It's my process.
Say it. Why
Right.
won't you? Why
But
won't
that's
you?
the whole thing, right? It's like Brian was talking about. It's like okay to shit on Asians.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
right to shit
And
on
then
Asians.
like, okay, this is so. Ari wrote like a little paragraph
Yeah.
underneath it. I'll read a little bit of it. It says, "Here's the entire set of 2 comics in a row: stand-up comedian Pang Dang and stand-up comedian Tony Hinchcliffe. I'm only showing this because one of the comics had his set viciously edited and released without his."
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Somebody
Oh my god!
call the FBI.
I know this. Then he says, this is what I don't like. He goes, "This here is what live stand-up is. It's raw. Comics riff off what previous comics say sometimes."
Which is fine.
Dude, but it's like that's not what we do. Like,
Right.
Like philosophically, yes.
Yes,
but like,
philosophically, yes.
it's not like
Oh
you
my
can't just go up and
God.
say something really mean about that last
Racist.
person and be like,
No.
that's just comedy, baby.
Right.
Like,
Right.
No,
That-
comedy is
fucking-
too good for you. Like,
That-
you
that- that's-
cannot
get
put
it.
under the
that's
bucket of
that's the
comedy.
thing is that it still has to be funny. Like it has to
Right.
like what I'm saying, like yes, you there is that element of unknown and the riff and everything like that, but there are plenty of times when you go up and you riff whatever, even innocuous riff, and
Yeah.
it doesn't work, and
Yeah.
you don't go, well, you guys don't understand comedy. No, you did a bad joke.
That is the core of what's going
You
on
have
here.
to
Totally.
eat
You
that,
have to
know?
own up to the fact that you failed.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't be like, it's PC culture. No. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're fucking
You
not
didn't
being
get it.
able to own up to the fact that you're
Right.
not funny. Just
Bad
it's like I'm a
comedian.
comedian and I said
Dude.
an unfunny thing. Just fucking grow up.
I mean, you see so many white comics who are of this brand of comedy where like quote unquote edgy, where
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
adopt like ironic, they hide under the guise of ironic racism.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like, you're getting upset? What are you, a fucking snowflake? But the thing is, like, if they receive the same kind of criticism, which is what's happening currently,
Yeah.
they're so fragile and they
Yeah.
can't. But like when other people are offended, then that's when they'll take a prod and be like, "You're fucking stupid. You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
And
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
ironic racism, bro, that's just lazy and derivative.
Right.
You know,
Right,
it's
right.
like if you take
Yeah.
aside strip away the racism aspect of it, you're just a bad comedian. Like
Yeah.
you're not pushing any envelopes. It's
Right.
not interesting. The shit has been done since the 1960s.
Yeah, you think
Yeah,
Asian
yeah,
accents
yeah.
have been done before?
And also,
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
to
yeah.
say, also, they have a lot of fans because a lot of people in the world are very stupid.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
yes,
they don't
yes.
understand. They're like, I have 100,000 followers. I was like, that's 100,000 really stupid people. And
Yeah, yeah,
most
yeah.
people in the world, unfortunately, are stupid. So,
Yes.
you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Some of you
Like-
guys anals, we love
What
you.
I
Yeah, you
fucking
guys are- you
hate
guys are-
about this and like this entire event is he's gonna have so many more fans. He probably has a podcast. He's gonna get so many more Patreon donors
for
because
him.
now he is this mascot of free speech and like anti-wokeness and against PC culture. But then when you watch that video, from the moment he steps on stage with like this aggro energy and drops the CH word in his
Yeah.
first sentence, people are laughing.
Yeah.
If I'm in the room, then I'm like, fuck all of you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
make any of you laugh. Because
Yeah.
you,
Yeah, yeah.
why are you laughing? Let's
Right.
examine that.
Well,
Because they're losers and they're
Right.
stupid.
Well, I mean, and
You know?
and to Fumi's point, you know,
Yeah.
as it goes on, the shtick kind of fades away.
Yes, people stop laughing.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It stops
Yeah.
working, right? And that's what I'm like. I'm willing to give. Dude, I can't believe it. I'm willing to give people some racism. I'm like, listen, you have a little bit. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
I understand.
It's like stand up. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And after a while, like,
There's gotta be some-
people always say, oh, how come, like you got to be the best, like, rooms are not filled with diverse people because we only get the best people.
Right.
So then how come when you're not good, you still want the thing, you still want
Yeah.
the praise.
Right.
So, and to my original point, it's like, we keep fucking talking about this guy. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I
that's-
want to talk about, we should get Pang on here.
Yeah.
we really should.
We really should because
we
you
should.
watch a set, it's funny. and he's funny, and he has the shit. You know, he also knows what's up. I would have loved it if Pang followed him then afterwards. What happened then?
See, this is like the white supremacy thing. It's this man. Our problem with him as stand-ups is that he's not funny. Okay, he's just not funny.
Yeah.
So why is he failing up? Because he's a white man, and they're all defensive about him now.
Right.
They're like, ooh, it's like Shane Gillis. Like, he's our little loser. He's our little loser brother. Like, you're bullying him like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, wait, but he's not funny though.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you said that your whole thing was just being funny. Like,
Right. But
make
like,
it make sense.
And you know,
Yeah.
so many white comics came to his defense like, well, you got to understand the full context of it. You have to understand the
watched
context of it. You have to understand the context of it.
They're
But let's like
protective of
use a comedian
comedians.
that you mentioned earlier, Aparna Nancherla. Like when she does a late night set. When I first moved to New York, I said, oh, she's my favorite comedian. So many white comics. Bro, did you see her fucking Seth Meyers set? She's so fucking bad and so fucking not funny. And it's like, she's literally on late night and we're on open mic right now.
That's a good point because you know the point is that they're
Oh,
always
where's
like
the context argument there? You know?
yeah,
Someone
yeah.
drops
This is
racism.
the
Let's
thing.
get the full story. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the thing. All those white guys are like, we got to protect comedy. We got to protect comedians. This is our art form. But then none of them are protecting Peng. Or, you know what I mean?
Peng-
Like,
is Peng
it's just
Dang
like,
not a
he's
comedian?
also a comedian. They're only protecting the racism.
Right. They're
Yeah.
only protecting.
You're
for
not
one.
there for all the comedians.
Yeah.
Right. You're not.
Let me
there
ask
for
you this.
You're not
This
there
is,
for
this is a
me.
discussion I heard
Yeah.
that was interesting. Because they were friends, this was on Andrew Schultz's podcast. This guy said, you know, I understand if he was upset, but if they were friends, why didn't he just talk to him in private? Why did he clout chased is what they were saying.
Oh, shut up.
And to me, my argument against that is like, so why did Pang have to suffer public humiliation?
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
when it's your bad, he's got to do it privately. So
Yeah,
your
yeah.
little
So if I was a
fragile
woman-
ego is okay. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
If
like
I was a woman and a man made a rape joke, you want me to sit in a room alone with him?
Yeah.
Somebody that shows obvious hatred toward women.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It's
Yeah.
not safe for us.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it was, why? No.
Right.
You
You
fuck up
now
on
you
the-
you got to do him a solid.
Right, that's the thing.
You
you,
know?
have to treat him like a human, even
Yeah,
though he
right,
didn't do it.
yeah.
I'm so fucking
exactly.
over it. I swear to God.
I'm so over it. And like honestly, this is how I know I'm getting older is just seeing all of these like 40-year-old white comics up in a fritz about this fucking like Tony
What a
Hinchcliffe
life.
painting. I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, go fucking read up about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and like go start a family, bro. Like,
They really
not
need to
that,
do
man.
that.
Important.
That's what I'm sort of saying too. Is
Yeah.
that like this is ultimately, you know, like. Fuck,
And
dude.
also-
I can't believe
yeah.
we just talked about it for so fucking long.
Also, the fact that it was like the biggest comedy news and it got like 8,000 likes on Twitter. The
Yeah.
stand-up is
Yeah.
so dead, guys. Have you ever
dead.
go to like a 19-year-old and be like, "Did you hear what Tony hit?" And they're like, "What the fuck
fuck?
are you talking
You're
about?"
chuggy.
I have
Yeah. Chuggy.
3 million.
Okay, finally. So what is that?
Ice in
You're
your
so
veins.
old, bro.
Ice in
Ice
your
in your
I thought they
veins.
were
veins.
shooting heroin.
No, it means that your blood runs so cold because you're so cool. I saw a weird explanation video.
Oh, I thought it meant you're about to tell the truth or something. You're about to drop a
No,
truth
it's because
bomb.
I'm like I got ice in my veins.
I don't even know. I'm just doing it.
I saw that on
Damn,
TikTok.
we're old.
No, you kidding me?
discuss the
I was sitting there. I was like,
joy-
like,
yeah.
is this an IV joke? What's going on here?
Honestly,
Like,
the joy that it brings me, that like how nobody know, even like Joe Rogan, he's like popular among like 50-year-old white guys that
Yeah.
like do steroids, but like no one actually cool knows who Joe Rogan. Like
Yeah.
none of these like fucking models eating at fucking the Odeon are like, oh, do you hear Joe Rogan? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this was all fun and games, Mike, wasn't it?
This was
was
all
all-
fun
this
and
was all
games.
fun and games, wasn't it?
But it was all a ruse.
It was all a ruse, wasn't it?
Because we are here to talk about some real shit.
Some real shit, bro.
Okay.
Some real shit.
And that's why we, you know, from the onset of when we were developing the episode, you know, I was like, okay, let's do a crossover episode. It'll be great. And Fumi says, oh, you know what? Me and Brian kind of got a thing going on right now, and not a sex thing. Okay.
Not the good kind.
Not a good kind. Okay. A little. I don't know what you want to call it. Beef.
Beef,
But
Korean
that's
beef,
Korean beef. So a little bit of LA Kalbi, right?
LA Carby.
And you know what? I'm gonna hand it off to Fumi to hear what's going on here. What's going on? Set the stage. Set the stage.
Baby! Okay, this is This is like the Louis C.K. Mark Maron WTF episode. I don't know if you guys heard that. He comes on the podcast and apologizes.
No, I don't know.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, so this is a crossover episode. I'm gonna explain what happened from my POV. This is like a court. I'm gonna say my shit and I'm gonna defend myself,
Okay.
or I'm gonna say my shit
Okay.
and then we'll hand it off to you guys, and that'll be Feeling Asian.
Oh yeah.
Be cool?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
This,
it.
this is what happened. Okay. Brian's birthday was like a couple months ago.
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember the exact date. Don't sue me. Okay. He emailed me like, I don't know, a week or two before and was like, hey, I'm going to have a small get together at this restaurant. Let me know if you can come. I was like, of course. This is before I had Corden. And I was like, yeah, of course. Amazing. Then I found out I got Corden like, I don't know, a fucking couple days later or whatever it is. And his birthday, it was like, his birthday came and I was working on this like parody song for fucking James Corden about that Soak Sonic song.
Yeah.
Has 4 million views on YouTube. What's good? So I was like working late because it's also West Coast hours, right? So I knew I couldn't make it. So I said, hey man, I don't think I can make it tonight. Sorry. Then later that night at like 9:30,
Yeah.
I had a show. So I was done by then. So his dinner was at like 7. So I was done by then. So I went to the show. I didn't think anything of it. And then I just like, I posted about it. Brian saw it and he was upset that I made, from what I understand, he could talk about it from his point of view. From what I understand, he was upset that I made time for stand-up, but not his part.
For sure.
And I think
Or
also
his
that
party.
I wasn't definitive about not coming. I think I said, I don't think I can make it, when I should have said, I can't make it. Which I think I did do that. That's on me. But, so he sent me a long text. Should I read it? No, is that too much?
No, let's read it. I have read receipts.
Read.
you got the read receipts. You got the read
Read
receipts.
the
receipts.
text.
And also
Oh,
while
don't
you're
reveal too much though, because
No.
we want this a cliffhanger here. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
course.
And very quickly, while Fumi brings this up, I want to remind the listeners that Brian did not invite me to his birthday dinner. So let's just all remember. Let's all remember that. So I'm watching this all this happening.
there's a- wow,
beef
there's-
episode with me.
Beef episode.
Extra beef that I did not know. The
So thanks,
Yinbun,
buddy.
This is beef.
Happy
Yinbun.
birthday, by the way.
2%
man.
beef.
That's so funny.
Wow.
Okay, so he texted
Wow.
me. No, actually, it wasn't the morning of. It was the night. It was that night. He said, actually, so I
Aries
reposted my
King.
story of me doing stand up.
Yeah.
And he DM'd me, said, I hope you bombed. And I thought it was being funny, so I was like, haha, or something, because I'm so fucking stupid. I was like, haha, whatever. I forget what I said exactly. And then nothing happened. At that time, I thought he was just like kind of ragging on me because I didn't really thinking too much into it. Then I get a long text. It says, look, man, I get you're busy with your new work schedule, but I would appreciate it if you could have just explicitly said you weren't going to make it. I consider you a close friend and see you make the time to do stand-up at the tiny cupboard makes me feel cast aside. Good, that's solid logic. I totally understand how things come up, but I hope you could see how it's a bit of a letdown to see that and not even hear from you. I'm not even trying to make you feel bad either. Just want to tell you.
Okay.
And
Not at the
it was an
tiny
interesting experience for me
cupboard.
because I'm gonna be toxic for a second. I feel like guys don't do that. You know what I mean?
Talk about their feelings?
Guys don't text each other that kind of. I've
Emotional
never
shit.
been called out by like a guy friend for not going to a thing ever in my life, and I've also never done that. Just because, I mean, I don't know. I guess to me, it's not like, you know, I have a really weird social life. I don't have a lot of friends. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Mhm.
But I could see how that's not the way for other people.
Okay.
But that's just kind of how it was left. That's how it was left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
that's my side of the story.
So
That's what happened.
So we
Bri-
want to hear from Brian.
Brian is
How are you
sitting
feeling?
here, eyes bloodshot. If I know Brian is an Aries king. He is a fire sign. He is so angry. I can just feel
Fire.
it radiating.
I mean, did we see? I don't know if it comes on
Radiating.
camera, but I don't know if we saw what happened when he walked in.
He was
Oh.
When he
angry.
walked in.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know if we
Energy.
can do this podcast right
Wow.
now. He walked in with,
Let me
I'm
just
mad at you. I
say-
was like, oh shit.
Welcome to Feeling Asian, a podcast where two Asians
Whoa.
talk about our feelings. Brian, tell me how you're
Wow.
feeling,
That was
Brian.
smooth.
And if you want to check out the rest of the story, part 2, be sure to check out Feeling Asian Podcast, wherever you're getting this podcast on Wednesday. And please follow Feeling Asian Podcast on Instagram at
Feeling Asian Podcast.
And follow Brian and Youngmi on Instagram at
YM Mayor.
And you guys can follow me at It's Brian Park.
All right, that's it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.